Hey everybody, so this is our Unity setup that we had last time. Go ahead and, boot up that layout that you made. Yeah. Oh. That's fun. Yeah. Just, make sure you have your windows open when you need them. But, anyway, here we are. You're going to want to go to Assets, and you're going to import a custom package. And mine's in some random folder right now for some reason, so that's why I have sources penned. And you're going to go over to Examples, and here they have all these wonderful things. Today I'll be teaching you how to make, well, just for simplicity, for the first one, we're going to go with a gun. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to make a gun? And it's not terribly difficult. You're just going to click import on that, and it's going to put a wonderful folder in here for game and resources, and it's going to have all these things in it that you'll probably never use in your sources folder. Yeah, it's an animation all the way in there, because why not make it that hard? And then here you've got your models. There's just this. I mean, if you want the real Zvechnikov model, you can get that from right over here. Back in your sources, we have the skins tab. This is the rest of the stuff. That's guns. If you want the actual models for this gun, but that's not what we're doing today. We're going to be doing our own model. So here I have mine saved on my desktop. It's named Model 0. We're going to go ahead and import that in here, but I'm going to create my own folder. We'll call it Exports. Oh shoot, I can't spell, whatever. It doesn't matter what it's named, but I can't spell, just keep that in mind. And we're not going to make another new folder. Or well, if you want to be organized and you might be using this for other stuff, you can be like items, because we're going to make cars later. And we'll just go ahead and create another folder, call it guns. And then in here, you're going to go down to resources, bundles, items, guns. And here's this one. This one is a complete prefab, with all the sounds and animations, and you're gonna want that, so you're just gonna click Control D. Oh shoot, we don't want two of that. Click Control D on the folder. We'll just drag our duplicate folder over to our guns down here in our exports, and here's this in our exports folder. Just name this whatever you want. I'll be today making my gun called the M4A4. And you're going to drop your item right in here and double click on it to go and find it. And here it is, right here. You're going to want to click that and then double click it again. Here, one second. So you want the flat view. You don't want this view. You want this one. It's just gonna make your whole world a whole lot easier. So, depending on how you are, some people use two models, one for lower resolution, one for higher resolution. I'll just be using one model. And so we're gonna have to import our models somewhere, right? We're gonna create a folder and call that one imports. And in here I'll just create the same folders. It really doesn't matter if you're this organized or not. It just helps a lot in the end when you're trying to find stuff, if you just make yourself organized. And then we're gonna pull up my item, we're going to highlight all these and throw them right in there. Now before we get too far into this, we're going to want to create a, where is it? Actually, you know what? Don't do that. Don't create a material. The best way to get a material for this is if you go in here, go over to your model, and click on your material here, and you go and find, shoot, it'll tell you where it is, and here there's already a material made. You want to duplicate that material and drag it over to your folder. Here's why I say do this, is it doesn't matter what this is named, but all this stuff right here is set up perfect for the gun, and the slider bars are awful to remember and it takes forever to do it, and then you can just drag in your textures like this. So the metallic makes things shiny, the albedo just does its thing. It's the texture that your gun's gonna look like. And here's my model right here. So when you come over to your gun, you're going to, just for this, you know, here's your model, right? And you're going to grab this model right here and drag it right there. Come on. There we go. It seems to be very small, I think, if I'm correct. Yeah, it's very small. So to fix that, we're going to go down here. We'll increase the scale to 100. Sometimes they import weird. If we go over to item again, here we go, we have our gun set to size 100 right here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to edit our box collider to fit to the edges of the gun. This is part of the reason why you want the flat view instead of that angled like perspective view, is so then you can get this box really nice and neat around your gun. You want this centered up, so if you have things sticking off the side like mine, the box collider, I'm not going to worry about that, because then it'll land on the ground weird. I'd rather that go into the ground than have my gun be like sticking off the ground like this when it lands and having this huge gap. So I'm gonna make my box like that, and now that that's set up, now your box is good. You can stop editing your collider, and you can delete your second LOD. You won't be needing this. And you'll just zoom out. You'll only need a second LOD if you're using two models. And here's your model 0, goes in here. If you have a second LOD, you put in your model 2, or your model 1 in there. And of course you want to zoom this out cold to about somewhere between 3 and 1%. Don't set it to 0, that gets real bad. So, oh shoot, I'm just gonna double click on that to zoom in real quick. And so here's our model, right? And then we have all of our attachments that we have to line up. But we'll do that in a second after we put on our texture, which you'll just click on it and drag it on your item like so. But so we're gonna go to site first, and I'm gonna drag that back to here and then pull it up like that. So like basically you just want it where you want your site to begin at, and my site would start there. And then your tactical will go in the middle of where your tactical should be. This one you want on the edge of your gun. And then your barrel, if you zoom out real quick here, and look at your barrel, you want that in the middle at the end. then your magazine. I think mine's good where it is, but I think it likes to line up with the back center of your magazine, just like the sight does. It just helps if you scoot it back a little bit and then pull it down. I'm pretty sure mine's in the right spot. And then your eject, you want that on the side of your gun in the middle of this gray box, right there. And where's my magazine at? You're gonna slide it down, and yeah, might want to move that forward a little bit. And then your icon, if you're using a gun that's 4x2, you won't have to worry about this, but where it is just fine. The distance is like perfect. The way they set up the camera is a little bit weird if you want to spawn this in yourself, but if you just use the pre-created prefab, it's in the right spot all the time. And then here's the grip. You're gonna want to you're gonna want to line this up in the middle on the side, right there. So like basically this one will go in the direct center of your grip at the top. So just move it up to your item there, like so. And then you should be good on all of these. I do believe, yeah, it looks good to me. So you'll be able to go over to your exports right here. You can go ahead and delete this one and drag your item in there, just like that. This will be your reload noise. That one will be the equip noise, and that one's your shooting noise. And when you use your noises, you're going to uncheck this one, change this to decompress unload, turn it up to 100, and leave it as preserve sample rate, just like that. So I decompress unload, turn it all the way up, apply. This is the way you want all of yours to be when you're making sounds in game for your guns, of course. And you know, these ones are the default Ziveknikov noises. I'm not a wizard at noise making with a computer, so I have not bothered to make any yet. But you want 2 channels. Not really sure why, that's just the way the game works as far as I'm concerned. And you should be good just like this to go ahead and bundle it. Now if you're going to be like me and you're only making 1 item, it is absolutely okay to go over to your window, Unturned, and open up your bundle tool, and then you're going to want to grab that folder like so, and it's going to fill up just like that. Once you've got that, you're going to click the bundle button and it'll bring you here. Now with the way Unturned is currently set up, most of the time you would put your example item inside of an items folder, right? But you can't do that anymore because of the master bundle files that they put in there. So what you're going to have to do is come back here, go to the workshop, and then content. This one's for Unturned, and you're going to want to download a mod or create your own mod and just remove everything from it. So this is my personal mod folder, and I'm just going to create a new folder here, and we're going to call this tutorial, and we're going to fill this one up with stuff in it. So this will be guns, or well, I might get around to showing you guys how to make cars and other things. So we'll create an items folder, put our guns folder in there, and then we'll create new folder info-e4, since that's what we're saving it as. And now my gun's been saved to that folder, and we're going to give it a second to bundle our assets. And then once this all disappears over here, you're good to minimize that and close out of that tab for now. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to where you see all your unturned bundles. So you're going to go to your unturned folder and then items, and you're going to go down to guns and just pick any gun out of here. It really doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm going to grab something that uses military ammunition, so then this goes a lot faster. You're going to copy the DAT files, the English and the name of the gun, and you're going to go back to where you saved your gun at. So mine's going to be in Steam Apps Workshop Content here, and then it's going to be in here. Tutorial, items, guns, and 484. And then you're going to want to rename this one to be the same as your folder name and your Unity 3D name. And just like that. You're going to want to go into this folder and delete the GUID. And then you're going to change this to something you'll remember for modding. We'll just make this 10,000. Actually, I'll just stick with my number theme that I've been using. We'll start here. And your site and your magazine. This is the military magazine number. And that's the Eagle Fire site. I'm going to change it to a Maple Strike site. Here's all your hooks. You absolutely need these if you want to attach things to your tacticals and your sights, your grips and the barrels. These are those things that we moved around inside of the editor. So like if you want to put a suppressor on it, you need that. And this is like the size of your gun in your inventory. This one right here, the X and the Y are what matters. And leave the Z alone. This is how much ammo the gun can spawn with. And then here's the different firing modes. We're going to replace burst with auto, because I don't want burst on there. Or well, we can do burst 3 here. And then here's your caliber number. 1 is for military, so I'm going to leave that alone. And then right here we have range. This is how many meters your gun will shoot. Fire rate is how fast your gun shoots. I do believe the higher the number, the faster it fires. Here we have player damage and zombie damage. These are the usual. Players usually take 40 damage, and zombies usually take 99. Headshots are always 1.1. Usually don't mess with these here. That'll maybe mess up your game. Don't worry about those. They're good the way they are. And then here we have all of our object damages. This is how many health points it takes away from objects. I'm just going to leave those alone. Those are fine. Durability, this is how fast it breaks down. I believe the higher the number the durability is, the faster it breaks. I'm going to leave it at 0.2. I usually don't mess with these, but this is like how far your crosshair is spread out and your recoil when you shoot. This is your recovery. This is how far it'll move back if you wait long enough. And here's your shake while you're shooting, on how far it'll move the gun every time you fire. Here's muzzle. I do believe this is no longer in use because caliber is now what they use for barrels. And then here we have our blueprints. So right here we have our repair. It takes 4 pieces of scrap metal. That's fine, and it requires a blowtorch and level 2. And it's considered a repair. The build number, I honestly am not super knowledgeable about that. But here we have this one, which requires the gun again. And we're just going to press backspace on that. and we will set it to 1000 because that's our gun number, and it'll create 3 pieces of scrap metal when we scrap it. And then we're just gonna save that, and we'll close it. We'll go over to our English file, and we'll name it M4-A4. That's the name of the gun, that's the description that comes with the gun. I'll leave that alone. It's fairly close enough to accurate, even though the M4-A4 is in fact a fake gun. Counter-Strike has been lying to you the whole time. So we're going to go ahead and boot up Unturned here. Mine is not in windowed mode, so I'm not entirely sure if it'll pop up in game right away. If not, I will take my Unturned and put it in windowed mode. When it boots, it may take a second. There's a good chance you're probably seeing a black screen right now because I'm looking at my Unturned window. Once I load into the game, it's doing all the loading item assets and all that right now. Once I'm in, I will let you guys know. Alright, we are now in Unturned, as you can see. And we're just going to go into single player, make sure your cheats are on, press play, and it'll boot up like so. Give it a second and I should spawn in. And just kind of ignore that Barbie Jeep over there, and oh shoot, need to check something really quick. Just wanna, yeah, my inventory is empty, so we're good there. And you're just gonna @give and then the number that you assigned your gun, and it should spawn in just like that. Here it is. Here's my gun that I made. Here's your magazine right here, and if you zoom in, it looks like so. And you can take off and reattach your sights like that, and it makes those kind of shooting noises because, yeah, that's what came in the folder. I will have more Unturned noises, models, etc. soon that I will be able to share with you guys for all of your wonderful creations that you will be making. And I hope to see them on the Unturned workshop eventually. And that's it. Bye.